Hey, it's Eli, aka Atlas, and since Black Panther is officially the highest grossing superhero debut of all time, being the highest grossing film of 2018, as well as the 5th highest grossing film ever in the United States, and the 12th highest grossing film of all time, I figure it would be a good time to analyze some of the things that made the movie work. Only the basics, mind you, and see what we can take from it to apply to our own works, story-wise, artistically, and overall. I get a lot of scripts pitched to me to illustrate for, so you writers out there, this might help you to find some nuances that some of us artists, and I'm sure these opinions will apply to a lot of other artists, find actually interesting. Again, this is only going to scratch the surface and touch on some of the basics that you might not have noticed or just needed some refreshing on. So,
as the strength of the Black Panther is being stripped away from me, we will now begin the analysis.
Number 1. Don't be obvious. The character of Black Panther was already introduced in the preceding movie, Captain America: Civil War. They kind of skimmed over the basics of who he is and what he does. They spent more of the intro doing world building and introducing characters that would be important to the story later rather than sooner. It's an important detail, because sometimes it's just better to get to the good stuff. A bit like approaching a girl you like, a lot of the time, in my opinion, you can't just say hi. You gotta find more interesting ways to pique her interest. Whether you pose a question, say something funny, anything, just think outside the box. Number 2, take an old idea and flip it. The moral of the Black Panther is the same message as most, if not all, of Marvel and Disney movies, now that I think about it. It is that with great power comes great responsibility. The Wakandans had a great power in the form of vibranium, but initially they didn't live up to their responsibility of using it for the greater good. Moreover, King T'Chaka very much skimmed over his responsibility by killing Eric Killmonger's father and leaving a young Killmonger in the city totally alone, fatherless, and displaced. So T'Challa himself becomes the one who is to fix the sins of the father, by offering their vibranium and abilities to the rest of the world, resolving the situation with the fully grown Killmonger, and putting Shuri and Nakia in charge of the global outreach. Black Panther uses his great power responsibly. So sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel, just steer it to the scenic route. Don't be afraid to use archetypes. Sometimes it's perfectly okay to use old tropes and put them in new situations for various, including comedic, effect. Like CIA agent Everett Ross. You're a typical eager beaver, needlessly overconfident American super spy. It's safe to say he's probably good at what he does. Might even be the James Bond type in the field. We don't know. But in Wakanda, he is painfully outclassed. So as I said in the last point, don't reinvent the wheel. Just perfect it. Throwing Everett into situations like these, where he's totally out of his element, makes the film a lot more interesting, and particularly his character, because not only is he learning, in spite of being an already experienced secret agent, he's got to figure out how to deal with this, and he gets basically character development as we learn about the new characters. Number 4, take inspiration from everything. If you've been following the whole production of the film pretty closely on the internet, and they'll probably include it in DVDs and stuff like that, you'll see that the art team used all of the African nations to create the visuals for the film, and ultimately to make their own fictional nation, culture, and identity. For example, they used the Xhosa or Xhosa, a real-life African language, as the native Wakandan language. And they even used some Italian designs for the architecture. When you're looking for inspiration, no source should be off the table, if it can help your overall vision. Since in the right light, everything can be art. Endings don't always have to be conclusive. Even as the main ending opens up a lot of doors with Nakia and Shuri's outreach center, this is only accentuated by the post-credit scene with the Winter Soldier, who I guess they're gonna call White Wolf in the future. Sometimes even a finale doesn't need to end indefinitely. If your world is big enough, what's to say life can't continue past the written text or the filmed visuals? Sometimes you gotta leave it to the viewer's imagination. And here's a bonus tip, number 6. Try and stay relevant with the times. If you know me, you know I'm not the political type, and we're still not going to go there in this video, but as the saying goes, heroes are created by the times. And that's important. This film was released in February 2018. This particular video is being filmed in March 2018. And if anyone has been paying attention to the 2018 political climate, it's been a roller coaster. Black Panther tends to touch on a lot of current topics both directly and subliminally. That's important, because if you want to talk to the people, most of the time it's best not to come off too preachy, and while you could argue about if they succeeded on that front or not, the movie clearly was a product of its time, making it an even more important watch, probably even in the future. That about wraps it up for this video. If you liked the video, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and share. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching. The goal for this year is to get this channel to about 10,000 subscribers. I really feel like we can get it done with your help. So please make sure you share this video on all the social media that you're using. And if you found any of the tips useful or ideas that I shared, definitely let me know in the comments. Make sure you tune in next Friday for another episode of For Future Reference, and this Monday for an episode of either a speed drawing, a tutorial, a walkthrough, anything else. So let me hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys think. Comment below. Let's get a discussion going. What were some of your takeaways from the Black Panther movie? Have you seen it yet? Have you not seen it? What are your theories? Things that you're expecting to see? Let's just get a discussion going. It's a very interesting movie. It's a very interesting topic. I'd like to see what you guys thought about it. And if there's anything that I missed, definitely let me know and leave it in the comments again. I think the overall takeaway for this video and probably the Black Panther movie, if you've been watching the production and even if you haven't, seeing how the whole thing turned out and people's response to it, is just to make great stories, present great art, and just talk about things that you really believe in and deliver it to the audience in a way that they could really relate to. And I tried to share some ideas and some topics that I feel like they kind of touched on, but of course, you know, they could have interpreted it a whole different way, and that's the beauty of it.
I feel that the strength of the Black Panther has returned to me.
Thank you for watching. Wakanda forever. See you guys later.